Campers, it's me, Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees. From Friday the 13th, I'm here with AJ, and he's got the juiciest slice ready for you. It's dripping with blood. Jason never dies.
What makes a horror film kill memorable, terrific, even in some way profound or poignant? Let's explore. Thanks for checking this out. If anything about it trips your fancy, please like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
Without further ado...
Now! Ready? Yes! There you go. Well, you wouldn't let me buy you a graduation present, so I got you this instead.
The graduating class celebrates New Year's by taking a train excursion and having a costume party.
Anybody see my girlfriend? She's the one with the big caboose.
The shindig is a real banger. They even have a very gracious magician.
They're not gonna watch.
Oh, they'll watch. Go out and do some close-up magic. Warm them up.
I'm not ready.
And everyone can have a good time, free of any past transgressions.
Look, Elena's nice. Confused, but nice. Hey, there she goes.
That could warrant some form of revenge.
Now look, you really want it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
Such as tricking an unstable, gullible young man into smooching with a pieced-together medical cadaver, leading to a total freakout while they stood by gawking and laughing. Okay, that was a lie. Or more appropriately, an illusion, since the past exists in memories, and those can be reworked to reflect a happier, more positive outlook than the inexcusable reality. For instance, the ghoulish escapade is obviously a source of pride for Doc.
Something happened one year and they had to kick a whole bunch of guys out of school.
Well, almost kicked out. Christ, did we do that?
You're the guy?
He recalls the dastardly prank fondly.
I got a job at the medical center, practically a janitor.
As a lowly freshman, he was able to spearhead such an illustrious prank, so obviously bragging is mandatory.
So, I go into this lab one night that's unlocked, and there's this lady there, poor soul, who'd just fallen apart.
Elena doesn't think it was so hot.
Put a kid in the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry, did I ruin your punchline?
But cavalier Doc, well, Doc.
You tell them. You were there, remember?
He knows how to, at least in the moment, shut her down and shut her up.
Sucks to you.
A frat snob dude bro if there ever was one, Doc can't see why she has to be such an uptight spoil sport.
Guess what I put in the stuff I gave those dorks?
You asshole. You can't have a good time without hurting somebody, can you?
Turns out he's the one always orchestrating the events in their lives.
Is that why you told me it was your idea? Because I said I'd never go to another one of his fucking parties?
A real control freak type.
Elena, they're always walking out of my parties. But this time, you can't.
It's abundantly apparent he's a polarizing character, even driving a wedge between an otherwise happy couple.
Lip set you up again. Well, you're worth 10 of him.
I know Doc can be a jerk sometimes. I'm not stupid. Doc's my friend.
You don't need an enemy then.
I don't know, maybe he's more layered than he seems, but Doc playing peacemaker?
Go talk to the guy. He doesn't want to argue.
Seems a little outside his character.
I know he's in there. Doc told me so.
Doc.
Richie!
Fucking bastard.
Not to be outdone,
Where is everybody?
Watching a magician?
Well, where the hell are Jackson and Ed?
I don't know.
Hey, wait a minute. We didn't hire a magician.
we get insight into his peculiarities. Wishing to always control who is the center of attention, he refuses to be enchanted by the magician.
Not only will I find the card that was selected and signed by our skeptical friend here, but I'm going to do it without looking.
Taking a rude stance.
That's third grade stuff.
And can do nothing but display his derision.
You should have seen that magician. He was fantastic. Poof, just like that, the woman was gone.
I think he knows how to make one come. Hey, anyone can do that!
As the killer slices and dices through the body count, He dons the masks of those he kills.
Marry Mo and you won't need one.
Oh, he'll be all right. I'll take care of him.
Essentially, in the eyes of the other partygoers, assuming their guises and identities.
They might have switched disguises. You know, it'd be hard to tell.
But then the vengeance taker is good at assuming identities. Soon thereafter, the killer stabs Mo full of holes.
Wake up, buddy. It's over.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
And when Doc discovers his grievous injuries, he winds up in the unenviable position of crying wolf because the others see only another gag from an inveterate prankster. As Elena accepts the direness of the situation and the conductor stops the locomotive.
asshole.
Jackson?
Jackson!
If this turns out to be another one of your stunts.
Hey, you there. Let go of it. To me.
Doc attempts to grasp the truth.
What are you talking about?
But can't quite seem to wrap his mind around it.
She's dead.
Mitchie! Mitchie! Mitchie!
Getting out of here.
With his friends dead, he shows his true colors. Tries to battle invisible enemies. And gets fooled by a chimera.
Mitchie. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a joke.
Since the killer has assumed a womanly form to hide in plain sight amongst the normies,
Well, it beats a 6-year-old's birthday party.
Doc is at the mercy of the young man whose life he ruined.
Doc, we heard him.
What are you talking about?
Kenny Hampson. You stunned with the corpse?
Like really ruined.
He was sick. I went to the hospital just afterwards. They wouldn't let me see him.
Like really, really ruined.
And they said it might have been an accident, but he killed somebody.
And it all culminates in an act that takes seconds.
A goddamn practical joke.
In the end, as much as he tried to have a good head on his shoulders, Doc wasn't even able to keep the 10-pound slop bucket attached to his neck. The element that makes some exits extraordinary can be as simple as the deserving being funneled toward a position in which they have to face the music, pay the piper, you know, get their just desserts. That often includes a splash of sweet irony, and that's the case here. Only the splash is a deluge, which manages to launch this one into the stratosphere of glorious despite the actual exit itself happening in a flash. It's as though our dastardly killer Kenny played the Uno reverse card on Doc by employing his trickster modus operandi against him and his merry band of stooges, his friends, including Elena, who despite her initial reservations and eventual sanctimony, still chose to run with the group, unable to escape Doc's sway no matter how hard she tried. Terror Train cleverly plays with the notion of illusions on a multitude of levels to ramp up the thrill ride.
I hate magic. Just tricks.
Come on, you love tricks.
I love jokes.
And also uses obfuscation as a smokescreen to muddle perception. From how the prank was pulled on Kenny to toying with the conductor, to Kenny assuming multiple identities. There's also the character of Doc himself.
No!
He masquerades as a seemingly normal doctor in training, a most wholesome image if there ever was one, while in the background assuming the role of life-ruining puppeteer.
It wasn't just a prank.
Since he was up to this activity at the start of his collegiate journey, I can only surmise what a jerk he was in high school. But apparently a lovable jerk, since he's the friend that binds, even if he's the untrustworthy one who might dose your drink, put plastic wrap over your toilet bowl, or trick you into getting frisky with a cadaver.
Nobody do that for a goddamn prank.
He's a guy who exhibited so much performative pomp in his deceptive veneer, and utilized false impressions so readily in his own hijinks, and the penultimate instant of his trick-laden life, When he sees a feminine hand, it's easier to conclude the supposed lady appendage belongs to Mitchie, that the whole thing was an elaborate hoax, his fear
False alarm.
Exactly, a false alarm. Thus, she can't be dead, meaning no one's dead. Because of this misassumption, rather than put up a fight, he dies easily, deluding himself by choosing to believe they got a good one over on him. All things considered, this was masterful manipulation on the part of Kenny. Were Doc not so confused, bamboozled, and all around tied up in knots, he might have been a harder acquisition.
I don't have time for these shenanigans.
But Doc was too stubborn and self-involved not to be tricked, since it's easier to believe the killer is
probably some nut just climbed on the train.
Rather than someone making a concerted effort to undertake revenge. He wants to think it's all
Just a gag. Got a clever one.
He couldn't be more wrong. His smart aleck ways finally caught up to him when a blade ran across his gullet. It's really no wonder, though, when you consider Doc was used to being in charge and getting his way. On the surface, he's a light-hearted, puckish, optimistic schmoozer, but underneath he's little more than a cruel-hearted asshole and cocky heel that gets his jollies dunking on others. The sort of toxic trickster who frivolously destroys the mental health of others by coaxing them into bad behavior, and then blames them for not being happy about it. Everyone is his subordinate, so a guy with a questionable moral compass but enough good looks and superficial charm to easily trick most, even Elena before his influence persuaded her to participate in a truly atrocious act. In his estimate, she's a killjoy, drawing his ire and spite, since how dare she not fall in line, at risk of alienation from the herd, and he scorns scapegoats and smites her for it, trapping her on the terror train, not realizing his ploy is as much a trap for himself, so he was foisted by his own petard. Taking care of a common complaint in slashers, making the victim pool train-bound was a clever conceit because it made the killer inescapable. Granting it a reason from a plot perspective is even better. One to reject the gravity of even the gravest situation, it all proves Doc was a hell of a conniver and shows how he escaped expulsion after spearheading such a cruel and ghoulish prank. Because he probably deserved to be prevented from becoming a doctor on ethical grounds.
Damn medical students.
And how it was really too bad for him that his ability to escape reprimand ensured Kenny would grow obsessed with rectifying the situation in the most final ways possible.
Oh my God! No!
For all his zealous moxie, Doc's hostile, controlling nature, always inserting himself where he didn't belong, failed him, and when things popped off, he proved such a crumb in a crisis his exit didn't exactly inspire a lot of sympathy.
I knew I never liked magic.
I would say Doc and Mo were both victims of failing to follow through with due diligence. The magician was always the key. When they figured out neither of them hired him,
Well, maybe somebody else had a good idea for change.
they should have had the foresight to speculate that something could be afoot and find out who flipped the bill for an entertainer. Mo was a rich kid, so I guess rich people problems? Incidentally, some years later, also during the holiday season, Doc's identical twin brother, a corporate executive named Ellis,
What are you going to do?
Hey, babe, I negotiate $1 million deals for breakfast. I think I can handle this Euro trash.
Jesus Christ, Ellis, these people are gonna kill you. Tell them you don't know me.
John, how can you say that after all these years, huh?
would be equally unable to see the forest through the trees.
John.
And it cost him his life too. Guess such foolhardiness just runs in their bloodline, maybe pointing to some form of generational trauma coming to the fore.
Oh, Lord.
While we're still on the subject, go over to your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete's channel and see how many nails he awarded Doc and Ellis in his recent Terror Train and Die Hard videos. I highly recommend them both.
Thanks.
I've about reached the end of the rope, so I won't leave you dangling. Thanks for hearing out my chatter. Please share any refutation.
I don't believe you.
I've about reached the end of the rope, so I won't leave you dangling. Thanks for hearing out my ramblings. Please share any refutations, opinions, accusations, japes, or other ideas in the comments below. And please check out whatever I'm up to next time. Bye now!
Hi, creepy man! Keep it creepy!
Goddamn practical joke.